Egypt's been battling militants in the Sinai for years, but the insurgency has become far deadlier since the ousting of former President Mohammed Mursi in 2013. Hundreds of police and soldiers have been killed since then. CGTN's Soni Methu takes us through some of the deadliest incidents.
In July 2015, more than 20 members of the security forces were killed in suicide car bombings at 2 military checkpoints. ISIL also claimed to have bombed a passenger jet carrying Russian tourists that crashed in the Sinai. All 224 on board were killed. At least 13 police officers were killed in a mortar attack, again on a checkpoint. And just 2 months ago, 23 soldiers were killed when a suicide car bomber tore through 2 checkpoints and blew up in a military compound. Soni Methu, CGTN.
Well, let's now cross over to Egypt. Adel Mahroui joins us live from Cairo. Adel, how have the authorities reacted to the latest attacks in Egypt?
Well, the authorities have been quite furious, announcing a complete plan to continue what they say is a comprehensive plan to counter terrorism, not just in the Sinai, but across the country as well. It is believed that Monday's attack was sort of a retaliation from ISIL to an earlier successful task forces conducted by police forces when they released a report saying that they had killed 10 militants in Giza, as well as they went into a crossfire with 3 different cells in Al Agouza area, which is part of Greater Cairo, the Egyptian capital. And just the next day, we've seen, that's on Monday, we've seen this brutal attack in the Sinai. So they believe that security forces are moving on the right tracks in terms of maintaining security within Egyptian cities, which defies the purpose of ISIL in general, which has threatened repeatedly to hold numerous attacks on Egyptian cities, specifying cops in general. So they will continue, and the police have never been as determined as they are now to continue their counter-terrorism efforts.
ISIL appear to be getting stronger by the day, despite assurances from the security forces. Does the government have a timeline when they will push back ISIL completely?
Well, it's quite different than, for example, in Libya, where militants would have specific land area that they are trying, that the authorities are trying to fight and liberate, which, like in Mosul in Iraq or in several Libyan territories. In Egypt, it's quite different. They are infiltrated within the society. In North Sinai, they have been fighting ISIL or militants in general for years, since 2013 to be specific. The war on terror there has been taking a new passage. But because the militants live among civilians, and the Egyptian authorities have been quite keen not to harm civilians in any possible way, to minimize the civilian casualties or victims in this war, it has not been quite helpful to give them an indication of what time frame there should be. And the Egyptian borders, whether it's from the Gaza border in North Sinai, or the Libyan border, the 1,000-kilometer long borders with Libya, which has also been a source of trouble to the country, with militants trying to smuggle personnel and arms into the country almost on a daily basis. So a time frame is not possible. However, security forces insist that they have taken significant steps. They believe, yes, there has happened, like yesterday's major operation, come from time to time, but they believe that it takes a lot for ISIL to try to make such an attack. And also they believe that they have destroyed the main infrastructure for this group in the North Sinai region, and therefore they believe that whatever happens is sort of signs of frustration from ISIL toward the control that Egyptian authorities are trying to maintain, whether by capturing cells in cities or trying to advance in North Sinai.
All right, Adel Mahroui, live for us in Cairo. Many thanks, Adel.